Dear friends, parents of the children with difficult diagnoses, such as their cerebral palsy and their rare genetic conditions, in this quick little video, I'm going to show you the examples that the easy sitting program does deliver really spectacular results in a relatively short period of time. So these are the first comparisons that I want to bring to your attention. Same child, about 1 year in between, and you can see a big change in the sitting position. So everything pretty much changed. The sitting platform, the appearance of the abdomen, the control of the arms, and of course also the overall neck position. So these are not just static pictures, so these are dynamic ones, and you can see really the big difference in between. So that's a view from the side. Now, the second set I'm going to show you relates to the views from the back, and again here you can see very spectacular change overall. And if we were to look in a little bit longer perspective of 1.5 years, then we would see that the change of the total sitting platform is even more spectacular, because here the child is sitting in a typical way with a tilted pelvis, leaning on his sacrum, very much like going all the way to the back rather than to the bottom. And you can see that the back itself is not really structured at all, and when he is adjusting the position, is just tilting of the head. Whilst now you can see really the same kind of self-entertainment with the iPad is working through the entire back connection. And also, these videos are designed to show you what we brought through the classic sculpture. So here is this classic sculpture that we used for the easy sitting course promotion, and here you can see that's the grip at the bottom. That's the counterbalancing at the waistline. These are those specific dots of the lumbar iliac divisions which are essential for the divisions between the pelvis and the spine, which protect the spine from the total pelvic twists. Then, of course, it's the wave of the spine itself which dynamically connects top to bottom, and again you need to experience these essential divisions between the shoulder blades and the neck, which enable this counterbalancing and stabilization from the top. So if we are looking at this child before, we see that the key components are missing. The sitting platform, you can obviously see the big tilt, not the proper grip. You can hardly observe any waistline. Now, the dots, which are the dots of the lumbar iliac divisions, are not present. And here, you can hardly see any spine. And then, of course, not much of the divisions at the top. And when he moves, you can see that just kind of tilting of the head. And now let's go through the time and have a look at this simple comparison. So here we are. We get the sitting platform and the grip that is working at the ground. We have the spine, which is actively participating. That's longitudinal. We have the visibility of the dots and the separation from the spine. We have the divisions at the top, and of course we also have those waistline divisions. So all these 1 to 5 key factors that we discussed and introduced just by showing something as unusual as the classic sculpture, here you are. You can see that as we work with those elements and some other components on the front as well, so you get a much clear improvement in the total function. So the classic sculpture leads us into a very obvious comparison of what's happening. And as a combined result, you can see very obvious change of the situation. So these are social environments. So that's the one 1 year plus before, when during the class graduation or the year graduation, you can see that he's much more bent and folded and kind of really stuck in the chair. And from this folded position, now we can see that the position is a lot more upright. There is a lot more freedoms at the top. The arms are a lot more relaxed, and here we have the child who is happily exploring the travels, and this is the travels through Spain, Plaza Mayor. So this is a clear illustration of how things work when the fundamentals of easy sitting are being achieved. And as an additional illustration, you can also get this review from the parent who highlights three things: that doing the problem was not difficult. Sometimes he's a little restless, but when just he's born, but then after that, everything was just fine. But overall, functional abilities have improved, you know, including the ones that I was talking before, that once the sitting improves, that also means that all the basics are getting better as well. And here you have. So if before he needed to be turned in bed, now he can turn himself. His sleep is better, better trunk control. He can sit, much better in the car and in a normal chair. He doesn't lean so much on the table for his balance, for which we have the picture from before. So, and here is the example of how he sits in the car now. So you see the upright posture as opposed to those bent positions before. And also, what you see is that there is better eating, better and easier bathing, a lot more confidence and a lot less scared, and also the cognitive and emotional aspects, they have improved as well. So eating, drinking is much easier, pointing out what he wants, communicating and so on. So that's really a very, very clear demonstration how from some artistic inspiration which catches the essential aspects of sitting in marble, we then move into something very, very practical, and we are able to see a major evolution of a child's condition coming with really big bodily changes. Now, the final question here, are these results typical, and what does it mean to have the typical result in this field? So the answer is, of course, there are individual nuances for every child, individual problems, individual challenges. However, what we do, we work on the same key components. These same components, these same ingredients of easiness, they are the ones which are giving us the essential benefits in every single case. Now, the total contribution of those added easiness factors against the difficulty of the diagnosis, of course, can vary, but the general tendency is very well illustrated by the example of this brave kid and his family. So if you want to learn more about the easy sitting program and how it can help you, your family, and particularly, of course, your child with a difficult diagnosis, so you have the links to do this. So thank you very much for your attention and wishing you all the best.